Hello, I hope you're all doing well today. Today I want to show you my technique for quilting in the hoop. So what I recommend if you have never done this before is that you get yourself a magnetic hoop. That's these two pieces right here. This one happens to be 9.5 by 14 and this one is made by Dime. You can get different sizes to fit your machine. I recommend the biggest that you can get for your machine. And there's other brands out there as well. But as you can see, this is quite forceful. It's perfect for when you put your quilt in this frame. Once you position it, you can, by pulling and maneuvering it around, you can get it squared up and where it needs to be inside that frame. And then when you're done with that block, you can lift this and you just slide the next one in. You don't have to take the bottom hoop out of your machine. Works really well. Highly recommended. So that is the Dime hoop. I have marked mine. Mine are marked, this is for 9.5. And these marks here are for the 14. And as you can see, let's see, I cut some templates also. If I lay that template in there, this is 9.5 by 14. You can see here's the 14s where I got them marked, and here's the 9.5 width. So that helps me in knowing where my pattern's going to fall on this quilt. With that said, I cut these two patterns. I got a 9 by 9 and I've got a 9.5 by 14. And what I'll do with these, any quilt that I lay out, I start with this and I'll lay these like this, corner to corner. All right, so I'm down square down there, and then I'll mark with my finger pencil. I usually use it with my finger, and just move this on down, right, to the next one like this, and then I see that's not really going to fit square on this quilt, and I already know that it won't work in the other direction. So I tried this 9 by 9 and I came up short again. It wasn't quite right. So what I did was I measured with the tape measure. I took 1 inch off, so now I'm 8 by 9. And now when I put this on here and I went on down, once I get to the ending, it's perfectly square. So that's what I'm looking for. And same thing when I go in this direction. So I want to make sure that once I end up down here, I'm square with that quilt. Then I know that that's the size that I got to have. So I got to have a 9 by 8 quilting design pattern. So let's move on up to the over to the PC, and I'll show you how to size that in the PC and also how to get it into your machine. All right, now that we've laid out our quilt and we know where the blocks need to go, we need to pick out a pattern. So we need to pick one out, and then we need to size it to 9 by 8. So let's, I use Brother PE11 design software. You can use Brilliance or any other embroidery design software to be able to do this. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck with just whatever sizes they have out there. This is pretty handy for me because I can make it any size I'd like to. So we're going to go ahead and open a file. And we're going to go, I want some butterflies. All right, and there it is. And we want to make this the size that we're going to put in the block. So we're going to go up to design settings. And it's a custom size. So it's going to be 9 wide by 8 inches tall. And I'm going to put that in a 9.5 by 14 hoop because that's what I'm working with. So let me make that a little bit smaller. All right, so you can see how that's overhanging what we need that pattern to fit inside this frame here. If you look up at the top, I got 4.5 and 4.5, which is going to equal 9. We got 4 and 4, that is 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and double click on that till we get the black handles exposed here for resizing. Now the most important thing to do, notice when I point at this, is hold the control key down while you're doing this. Now when I point at those, you'll see the stitch sign. And what that does is that that retains all the stitching information. Even though we resize this, everything is still going to remain the same as far as stitch length. So we're going to go ahead and just grab those little things, and we're going to move this to be inside the box. All right, I'm happy with that. And now that we've got it inside that frame, I want to go back up and I want to go to design settings again. This time, instead of the custom size, I'm going to go to the hoop size, because I have a 9.5 by 14. That's what I'm selecting. If I had a 9.5 by 9.5 hoop that was magnetic, I would be using that and I would pick that. But I don't, so I'm going to use the 9.5 by 14. And we're going to click OK. And notice how that puts that right in the middle of the 9.5 by 14 frame. Perfect. So don't forget to save your design. I'm going to go save as. And let's see, I'm going to name that 9 by 8 butterfly lap quilt. I've already done this, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it again and save it. And I'll overwrite it. And it's there. So now what we got to do is we need to get this over to the machine. And there's two ways to do that. From this software, I can do it through Wi-Fi. So I'm going to turn my machine on and make sure your Wi-Fi is on the same network as your computer. Or you can save this to a USB stick, which is just a save as. You find that file and save it to your USB stick, and then plug it into your machine and locate it on your machine, and that would also input the file. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how on PE11 how to hook up to the network in case you're not there. So we're going to go to Options, go to Network Machine, and at this point I would click, this would not be populated, Network Sewing Machine, so I'd click Add. And then your machine will come up in here. And once it comes up in here, you select that and you click OK. And it'll be, the two programs will talk to each other. So now I'm going to hit send to Network Machine. And I've already done this. All I got to do is click on Bud and Jackie's, and it will head right over to my machine. So let's go over to the machine and we'll show you how to set it all up from there. All right, I'm sitting over at the machine here. This is a Baby Lock Altair. I've got my bottom half of my magnetic hoop in, and here is my settings. If you're not familiar with this at all, some of them, we're going to use a 9 by 14. So I'm going to go to my settings screen here, and I'm going to go to hoop, and I'm going to make sure that my frame size is picked for 9.5 by 14, which it is. So I'm going to go ahead and go home. And we're going to embroider. So then we're going to go here to this Wi-Fi setting. Now, if you brought this over with a USB stick, you saved your design to a USB stick, you'd plug it into your machine and use this USB setting, and that's where you would find your image. But we sent it over the network through the air, and there it is. This is the one that we sent. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that, and it comes into the program, and I hit set, and then I'm going to hit embroidery. All right, so if I look up here at the top, I can see that this size is almost 8 inches and almost 9 inches. So that's what I wanted, right? I wanted 8 by 9. There's 1,390 stitches, and it's going to take 2 minutes to stitch this out. The color is black because I just set that. That was kind of standard in here. So if you can see, right in the middle is my X. All right, that is the center of the frame. Now if I go down into this and click here, I can move this around the frame. So what's going to happen is it's going to go to the top of the design, and it's going to go to the bottom of the design. And as you see, as I push this, so I'm going to go to the top of the design again. All right, I'm going to go top right corner. I go back to the center again. All right, so that's how you can maneuver around to see where exactly that is going to stitch on your quilt. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now I'm going to show you one other thing. There's also this advances or brings your stitches back. So in other words, if I want to go plus 10 stitches, I can go here, and it just went 10 stitches. You see where it's at right here? 10, I'm going to move another 10, I'm moving 100 this time. So now it jumped up there. So it's also showing my stitch indicator here. So this is handy for, let's say I'm lining this pattern up with the next pattern, and I want it to line up right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit plus 1,000. I hit it again. It's going to be at the very end of that stitch. So that way I can line that up with the line this up right here with my quilt from the last block that I just stitched. All right. To get back, you can just click OK, return, embroidery, and we're back to where we started from. All right, I'm going to put a quilt in there and we'll show you how it goes from there. All right, my hooping buddies out there, we got her hooped up, and as you can see, we've got it in our Altair, our machine, ready to go. I have this in the hoop, and what I want to do is I am going to I laid this out so that I'm going to go 9 by 8, and I want to stay within this border right here. So as you can see, my green X is up in the top right corner, and I can use this little thing to move this around to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be and that it's not going to hit something. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, let's go ahead and stitch this one. So I'm going to click OK here just to get me back to that screen, and as soon as I put my foot down, I'm ready to go. Hit the start button. Progress on the screen too. You can see the green X moving. That's where the needle's at. And up here you can see that we've stitched 453 threads out of 1,390. It's at 2 minutes. I want to show you how to get the next. This is the first block. I'll show you how to get the second block lined up with this block. This is considered edge-to-edge quilting pattern. So what it's doing is it's one continuous stitch. Starts from one side to the other side. And as you can see here, we have a beginning line. And actually, this was the beginning line. This is going to be our ending line. Loop, and we're there. Alright, there it is. And when it ends, it's going to return to the starting point, which was the center. I'm going to show you how to line this up, how this hoop works. It's kind of nice to just flip this up and move it off to the side. And then we're going to move this right to the next block. Go ahead and put our hoop back in place. All right, now I'm going to show you how to get this lined up. All right, I've got this hooped up for the next second block, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and here is my last stitch right here, which is right here. And what I want to do is I'm going to bring the needle over to that point. So what I need to do on the machine is go here, and the plus or minus needle sign, and I'm going to go, let's give me 1,000 stitches, and another 1,000 is going to take me right to the end. And as you can see right there, we are perfectly lined up with that. So we're going to go ahead and reset the machine back to embroidery mode, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my foot and hit the start button. And here we go. All right, I hope you get the idea how to line that up. You just keep going until you're done, and then line up the next row and carry on until you're completely done. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Keeping it in the hoop.